This is the Red River Farm Network Crop Tour presented by Pioneer. We're just west of Grand Forks right now. We're talking with Mike Stenvold of Stenvold Ag Services. Mike, first of all, beautiful day. Great to be out here talking crops on a day like today.
Absolutely, Don. We couldn't ask for much better weather, especially, we're in September already tomorrow. So to get some of these 80 to almost 90 degree days, it's a lifesaver this year.
We're going to need all of September. Give us an idea, when did we get crops in the ground here? How are things looking?
Yeah, on the early side was probably that mid-May, and then we had stuff through the middle towards the end of June even that it wasn't ideal, but we were all resilient and we got it in the ground.
So where are we sitting with this corn maturity-wise?
Some of that earlier planted stuff is looking really good. We probably still need another 2 to 3 weeks for that. Some of the later stuff we're in that R3 to R4 stage in between kind of a milk and dough, and we'll need all of September and probably into the first week of October.
With that late start, did you have a lot of replanting in this area?
There was definitely some. To be honest, the majority of it was wind damage.
Yeah.
That wind just wouldn't give up this spring, so there was quite a bit of corn and even sugar beets that were replanted.
Yeah, that a lot of those beets, it was a pretty tough go for those.
It sure was. We're standing next to a beautiful field here that I know had some replant in it, and it's all kind of caught up in it, and it does look good so far.
So the corn, how's it standing?
Standing real well. I haven't seen any major issues other than some green snap and brittle snap earlier this summer. We haven't seen any deficiencies as far as nitrogen, potassium, anything like that yet. Things are cautiously optimistic.
How have you been sitting as far as moisture?
We've been dry. This last month or month and a half, I don't think we've caught much more than about an inch right in this kind of Thompson to Grand Forks area. But this spring, obviously, we had an adequate amount, so I think we're tapped down into that and looking pretty good.
So fertility-wise, I think these guys should keep in mind there as we look into really the balance of this year and going into next.
Definitely. Soil sampling is always key. Keep an eye on your nitrogen levels. This year I think we'll be in a better situation than we were for planting 2022 with all the carryover nitrogen causing some problems in some soybeans. But we're in a much better shape this year, and I think we're looking pretty good for next year.
How about soybeans? What's the situation we're seeing here?
We battled some IDC this spring. We haven't noticed much of that in the last couple years, but it wasn't a major problem in most areas. And other than that, a little bit of grasshopper damage and some aphid damage, but nothing that's really been economically high enough to spray and try to kill. So we're, again, cautiously optimistic there. We could definitely use another shot of rain. Wouldn't hurt anything.
Like, kind of unusual. You've got some canola growing in your territory.
I do, yes. We've got a couple growers with some canola in this area, and same thing there. It looks really good. I'm told we're trying to schedule some desiccation perhaps as early as next week, middle of next week. But that crop looks really good this year.
How's the rest of harvest? What are you hearing from growers as far as spring wheat? And obviously we're lifting beets.
Yes, there's some pre-haul with some beets, and it sounds like things are pretty good. Maybe a little light on the sugar, but we've got some time to hopefully make up for that. Wheat harvest sounds like it's been pretty darn good. Some real good reports coming out there, and guys are chugging along, but it's still delayed. So we'll be combining wheat for the next few weeks.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about your agency, Mike.
Yeah, so I'm based out of Thompson, and I kind of cover an area from that Highway 18 Hatton area east to about Fisher, and then Grand Forks down towards the Buxton area. We got started in 2016 and kind of been growing and expanding since.
We certainly got some great farmers in this region, some very progressive producers.
Absolutely, and we couldn't do it without them. I'm blessed to work with a number of excellent customers, and it's fun watching them grow alongside.
Indeed. Mike Stenvold with us, Stenvold Ag Service. Again, we're reporting today right from the west of the Grand Forks area. It's the Red River Farm Network Crop Tour, presented by Pioneer.